Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name is Fred Wheeler and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. And this is a class guide. As it happens, we're going to talk about the Bard for Dungeons and Dragons 5e. I have to say I've always struggled with the Bard. Jack of all trades has presented me with a lot of different problems for me to figure out. And I want you to turn to page 54 of the Player's Handbook. I'm going to read out that section first, then I'm going to explain some of the issues that I found people were asking about that I had picked up, and then I'm going to give you an example with miniatures and maps just so you can sort of see it in play rather than me just talk about it and present you with a few little images. Okay, so let's look at the basics in the book. Jack of all trades. Starting at second level, you can add half your proficiency bonus rounded down. So you can add half your proficiency bonus rounded down to any ability check you make that doesn't already include your proficiency bonus. So that means you can add it to any kind of skill check or ability check whatsoever, provided that your proficiency bonus hasn't already been included in that calculation when you make that dice roll. Now, this is where it starts getting really tricky because there's a few questions to be asked with regard to Jack of all trades. Can I use Jack of all trades with a combination of other class features that might be sort of something I want to use in the game? Well, Jack of all trades can apply to the initiative roll. So if you have when I roll initiative, you can apply your Jack of all trades to an initiative roll because it's a dexterity ability check. It's an ability check. So yes, you can use Jack of all trades with initiative rolls for combat. Jack of all trades can be used with counterspell. So when you require an ability check to determine success or failure, now in some cases counterspell works automatically, but if you are casting counterspell at a level that is too low to stop the spell automatically, then you have to actually make an ability check. And yes, you can use Jack of all trades when you do that. The reliable talent and Jack of all trades do not stack because they're working on the same ability or skill check. So reliable talent and Jack of all trades do not stack on the same ability or skill check. Okay, whether it's abilities checks or skill checks, doesn't matter, doesn't stack. Okay, so that's covered, I think, most of the things that I was looking at sage advice with regard to Jack of all trades. Now, the things that were a little bit more hairy and a little bit more confusing, these are the ones that I'm going to cover now. So what about something like remarkable athlete and Jack of all trades? They can't be applied to the same ability check. Okay, if you're using remarkable athlete and your Jack of all trades, they don't stack together. So you can't apply them to the same ability check at the same time. Jack of all trades does not apply to attack rolls or saving throws. It has to be an ability check. An ability check is different, so skill and ability checks are not the same as an attack roll or a saving throw. It's a very different mechanic. Now I want to pull up the chart and sort of explain roughly what it looks like in terms of playing the game. So this is going to be available to you at second level Bard. So that means if you look at your proficiency modifier on the chart, your proficiency modifier from level 2 right through to level 8, it ranges from a +2 to a +3. Now because halving +2 just becomes 1, that's what you would add. So anytime you see your proficiency modifier and it's a 2, okay, it's a 1 that you add for your Jack of all trades to your ability check or your skill check, provided there's no proficiency bonus already lumped into that. Now, if you get a +3, you have to round down because half of 3 is 1.5, so it's going to be 1. So essentially that means from level 2 right through to level 8, you get to add a +1 for your Jack of all trades. When you're level 9, right through to level 16, you're going to get to add a +2. And when you go from level 17 through to level 20, you're adding a +3, because half of a proficiency bonus of 6 is going to be 3. So those are the basics. Nothing to be confused or worried about. Very easy to apply in any game. Now it's time to give you an example, a little scenario that we can apply so that you can see it in action. And I have decided to select, I'm chucking stuff around. If you were wondering what I'm doing, I'm chucking stuff around. I thought what I would do is I would use the King's Road. I use the King's Road many times for various sort of examples. So I've presented you with the King's Road. Our bard is over here. Now this bard is supposed to be a half elf. Bear with me, I know the miniature doesn't look like a half elf. I've got my 20-sided dice to roll, and I've got here a little scenario. We've got a tiger who is making their way along the King's Road, and the bard, for whatever reason, has managed to actually spot the tiger coming and has decided to make a stealth check. Now, the reason I've picked stealth is because this particular character, being a level 2 bard, half elf, they're already proficient with arcana, acrobatics, deception, insight, perception, performance, and persuasion. And I've taken this pre-generated character sheet from the Dungeons & Dragons official website, where you can download characters from about level 1 right through to level 10. So I've taken those as an example. In this case, what I've done is I've looked at that particular character sheet, and the character has a dexterity modifier of +3. So that's a dexterity of 16. That's the score, but the modifier is a 3. So I take 3. That would normally be what my modifier would be for my stealth check with this particular bard. But in this case, to stay hidden, I get to add a little bit more, because I'm going to use my jack of all trades, because I'm not proficient with stealth. Level 2, that means I take half of that, that's 1. That means I get to add 4. It's not a lot, but you're dealing with a game system which has got bound accuracy in terms of things like attack rolls, but a lot of it transfers over to ability checks, skill checks, and saving throws. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that number, I'm going to roll a 20-sided dice. I'm trying to hide from that tiger. Okay, the bard alone will just get eaten. So I rolled an 11. So I take that 11 and I add my 4, and I'm going to get 15. So that's my score. And I compare my 15 to the passive perception of my tiger. And I think you'll find that the tiger's not quite that perceptive. So it makes its way, doesn't pick up the scent from our bard, and our bard gets to live another day. And of course, when the tiger's gone and her mates show up, then the option to go and chase after the tiger and kill it is certainly there. But that's essentially how the Jack of all trades works. Now, there was one other thing that I know people were probably going to ask me that I haven't actually answered. And the reason I haven't answered this particular question, but I will talk about it, is because I don't actually know the answer to it. So this is what it is. What happens with tool proficiencies? What about a tool proficiency? Well, a tool proficiency is still a ability check. It's not so much a skill check. That's different. A tool proficiency is an ability check, and often you might have get an opportunity to use proficiency with a tool if you're proficient with a specific tool. So what about something like thieves' tools? Because to be able to use thieves' tools to actually pick a lock or break into something, so using those thieves' tools to pick the lock, you have to be proficient. You have to be proficient. What if I'm not proficient with thieves' tools? I've got a bard, not proficient with thieves' tools. Can I use my jack of all trades and apply half my proficiency to the dice roll? Yes, you can, because it's an ability check. But does that mean I can actually use it to actually pick a lock? Because I don't actually get the full proficiency bonus. I am partially skilled in that area, not completely skilled. which is why I only get to add half my proficiency bonus. I don't know whether that's going to be a problem for you, because I don't know if you can do that or not. It's not so much an issue with other tool proficiencies, but with something like thieves' tools, where you absolutely must have proficiency to use them to pick a lock. That might sort of crop up and cause you a bit of a headache. So my suggestion to you, dungeon masters and players, is have a discussion and decide what you think will work. I think my personal opinion and how I would approach it is that I would allow Jack of all trades to be applied to allow the use of thieves' tools if they are not actually proficient with thieves' tools to pick a lock, if the proficiency modifier they're getting from Jack of all trades is a +2 rather than a +1, which means they're going to have to wait a few levels before they get sort of the full training. They have all those skills rather than just a partial skill. That's how I would do it. Now, I want to make it quite clear that is not written in the player's handbook or the Dungeon Master's Guide or any other book that's how it's supposed to be done. There's nothing on the internet, so you have to make that call yourself. Okay, I have covered everything I wanted to on Jack of all trades, and hopefully it has been useful to you. If it hasn't, I do apologize. I did try really, really hard. But if you like this video, please share and like the video with other people. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this sort of thing, because you certainly will. Also hit the bell button to be notified when I go live and when I publish new videos. If you want to support my channel, you did by watching this video. I have hundreds more, plenty of videos on the Bard as it happens, so if you wanted to look for that, there's a playlist for it, and there will be future videos on the Bard. I don't do Patreon for 2019, not going to happen, but I do have affiliate links to the book depository and Amazon, where you can buy stuff online and I get a small commission, and that helps me to continue doing these sorts of videos. Now, this is your opportunity to ask questions, give feedback, or just say hi, or just disagree with me. Maybe I made a mistake, who knows? So use the live chat box now, type in there. If you're not part of the live chat, that is what the comments section on YouTube's all about. Type in your comments there, I will get to you as soon as I can, and hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.